Hi guys, welcome to my channel Happy Hair Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we will find out what will a day in your best life look like. So you can see an image on your screen right now. You've got three options to choose from, and when I say best life, I mean the kind of life that you've been working towards, that you've been manifesting, your dream life basically. So feel free to pause the video over here, meditate on all your options, pick whichever one calls out to you the most. You'll find the timestamps in the pinned comment as well as in the description box below. So make your choice and let's get started. Hi group 1, if you guys chose the first image, I want to start by seeing what will your energy be like when you're living your best life. So let's have a look. We have Wolf. Be independent but work together. Alright. Possibly you have been working towards a dream life wherein you have a solitary career. You're not working for anybody else. You're either a freelancer, you're self-employed, you have your own business. And perhaps that is something that you're doing right now as well. Right now too, you are a freelancer or you're self-employed and you're building that business up. You're trying to get more clientele, you're trying to get more stability. And so definitely by the time you reach this best life milestone or you enter that period, not only will you be very powerful, because honestly, this card for me right now is radiating very, very powerful energy. It seems like you will be at the top of your game. Whatever industry it is that you're working in, whatever field it is that you're working in, it might be known because of you, right? So let's say that you are producing your own music right now. So when you live your best life, the indie music industry will be known because of your contribution or by your name. So that's really good. I can see over here that by the time your best life starts, your work would have expanded so much that you will require a team to work with you and to work for you. So that will be happening. But of course, all the decision-making abilities and all will lie with you. But you will be able to afford having other people through whom you can delegate your work a little bit. And I see you sitting in this confidence, knowing that you have achieved whatever it was that you had set out to achieve. There is this peace, there is this sense of calm and peace in your energy as well, group 1. There are so many people who will be looking up to you by the time this best life starts. Just like how right now you might be taking inspiration from the stalwarts in your industry. Likewise, when you enter your best life, there will be people looking up to you as their guide, as their mentor, silent mentor also. Maybe they never get a chance to work with you, but your work will always be a source of great inspiration for them. It's also possible that when you start living your best life, and if you currently have kids, or when you do have kids, they might follow in your footsteps. So they might also start working in the same field as you. You might pass on your gift or your art to your children. All right, now let's start by looking at a day in your best life. Look at this, you have leadership right off the bat, which says set your goals. I do feel like group 1, a lot of you have already set your goals, and in case you haven't, in case you're slacking a little bit, or you're someone who has a tendency to procrastinate a lot even though you have a vision, I think with this card, Spirit is motivating you as well. That look, group 1, if you set your goals, you will accomplish them. Anything and everything that you set out to achieve will be yours. And that's basically what your dream life or your best life looks like. There's so much confidence over here. I'm picking up on a sense of regality also. It's like your royalty. Whenever you'll be stepping into a crowd or whenever you'll be entering parties in your best life, all eyes will be on you. You will be the talk of the town is another thing that I just heard. And I like how the sun that's shining is behind this woman, so it's almost as if it's powering that this lady over here. Definitely you'll be famous for sure in your best life. Everybody will know you, and when I say everybody will be knowing you, I don't just mean your extended family or your friends of friends or your community. It'll be bigger than that. In fact, when I look at the sun over here, it can be global fame also. In fact, there's so much lovely light present over here. It seems like in your best life you will find it difficult to live like a common person, like live like an ordinary person, because it's quite possible that whenever you step foot outside of your house, there are paps over there, or there are people wanting to take pictures with you. And that happens when everybody knows you, everybody wants a piece of you. It's like that. So that's going to happen for sure, and definitely you will be the torch bearer for something. And this is very similar to the energy that I was picking up for you over here, that you will become an inspiration for others in your field, for the newbies in your field. And I see that happening as well. And again, this is telling us another thing: there will be a lot of luxury in your best life. Lots of luxury, a luxurious lifestyle. It's almost as if you will reach that point in your life wherein you do not need to look at price tags anymore. I mean, come on, let's face it. Everybody does that right now. A lot of us do that. We do look at price tags. But in your best life group one, you will not need to do any such thing. You'll simply put your finger at something. You'll be like, I want to buy this. And you will be able to. You will know that there is nothing that's not in your reach. So good. And I think these are sunflowers. So all these lovely sunflowers over here are also telling me that there will be a lot of radiance, a lot of positivity in your vibe in general. Right now, if you're struggling, if you have a lot of anxiety or worry about your future, if currently there are tons of responsibilities or burdens on you, all of that would have dissipated by the time you enter your best life. This does not mean that you wouldn't have responsibilities anymore, but responsibilities won't feel like a burden then, because there's so much at your disposal that you can easily take care of anything and anyone. Lovely. All right, let's see what else. We have divine order, which says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. This tells me two things. Firstly, when you're living your best life, it'll only be because A, you believe in yourself and you will continue to believe in yourself, and B, your best life will definitely be centered around something that is special to you, something that you like doing. So for example's sake, let's say that right now you have a corporate job which you do not like at all, and your true passion, going back to our previous example, lies in music. So your best life will not happen because of the money you're making from your corporate job. Instead, it'll happen because of the fame and recognition and rewards that you get from your music. And when it says an important lesson is unfolding, of course, this can be a future lesson also, something that you learn in your best life, because as long as you're alive, you keep learning new things, you keep learning new lessons, so no surprises over there. But for a lot of you, group one, I do feel like when you're at the precipice of your best life, or when you're about to make the transition from doing something that others want you to do versus taking that leap of faith and going after something it is that you like, that might be an important lesson for you. And for a lot of you, this is a lesson that's unfolding right now as we're speaking. You're learning to take a stand for yourself, but it's also possible that a lot of you have already learned that lesson and you've left something behind, and now you're working towards this future goal of yours. So that's great. In fact, a lot of you might even take on the role of a teacher when you're living your best life. You're very good at something, you made a fabulous, fantastic life out of it because of that talent of yours. And so now, when you've started living your best life and you're at a comfortable position, you might teach your art to others, you might pass on your knowledge to others. So You might open a music school, you might start taking music lessons, you might employ people to teach on your behalf once you've taught them, kind of like a chain. But that's definitely over there. You guys should consider working with the amethyst crystal. All right, let's see what else do we have for you, group 1. We have regeneration. The first message that Spirit gave me as soon as this card flew out was, your best life will not even be remotely close to the life that you have right now. It's going to be a massive upgrade in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of who you are as a person also. You know, it might be a very spiritual death and rebirth process for you. It's like you're leaving your old life behind and your older self behind too. Everything about feels brand new. In fact, let's say that right now you have lost touch from a few people, and then once you start living your best life, they come in contact with you again. Of course, physically they will be able to recognize who you are, but once they start having a conversation with you, they'll realize that the you that existed in their memories does not exist anymore, because that's how massively you've upgraded. I can also see with regeneration over here, and this is such a heartfelt, lovely message that Spirit just gave me. There is something that your family collectively wants or has always wanted, but you come from a family that has 9 out of 10 times sacrificed its wants to fulfill the needs. Do you understand? There's a difference between wants and needs. And because you've had a difficult upbringing, or perhaps money was tight, your family as a whole has sacrificed a lot. There are a lot of things that they wanted, that they desired, but it was more important to reroute that money in your education or basic necessities for the family. But when you start living your best life, you will make it a point, group 1, that every unfulfilled wish or desire of each and every family member of yours, including yourself, comes true now. Comes true then, once you have the resources available, and it will happen. All right? When you do start living your best life, you will be able to easily make sure that all their suppressed wishes or unfulfilled desires come true. Whether it is taking a trip somewhere, whether it is buying something expensive, whether it is changing, your family's car or getting a new, bigger house, you will be able to do all of that for them. You might ignite this thirst of living again in your family members, because it's quite possible that you, as well as a lot of people in your family right now, are simply existing. Things are difficult, things are tough. But as soon as this phase of your life starts and the happy days start coming, which will be in plenty, by the way, so don't you worry about it. They are not going to be numbered. Our days are numbered, but not your happy days. That's not what I meant. So that zeal, that enthusiasm, which perhaps your parents had when they had first, started out in their married life, you will bring all of that back to them. And that is such a precious thing to do. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see what else. And we have thriving. This is amazing. It seems as if once your best life starts, group 1, there will be no looking back at all. It'll only be continuous growth from there onwards. You might, and especially with all this lovely golden and yellow hues over here, you might actually get that Midas touch. Anything that you put your finger on turns to gold. Any project that you start becomes successful. With thriving over here, another message that I'm getting is that once you start living your best life, you might diversify a little bit. So, for instance, let's say that you created your best life by producing fantastic music. But then once you start living your best life, you might venture into becoming a music director perhaps, or you might open your own record label and give a chance to new artists, something like that. You might diversify a little bit, but whatever it is, it'll be profitable for you. It's just onwards and upwards from there, just continuous growth. And the one thing that I especially like about your pile group one, I mean, I'm yet to see the other two, of course, is that you're taking everyone with you on this journey. You're not the kind of person who gets this massive upgrade, gets a lot of money, and then forgets everyone. That is so not your energy over here, pile one. You're the kind of person who is looking after everyone, who's making sure that everyone is as happy as you are, everyone is as comfortable as you are, which is so good. Because that way, you're also getting a lot of blessings, you're also getting a lot of good wishes. Maybe right now also you are the primary breadwinner of your family. And right now also you're doing your best, right? But then once the dream life kicks in, once this best life kicks in, it's going to be a totally different ball game. In fact, with thriving over here, I can also see that, and this is pretty similar to the message that I was getting for regeneration, that any stalled dreams, any stagnation that your family is currently facing will all wash off thanks to you. So this is fantastic. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. I'm gonna rearrange these a little bit to make space. Okay. We have the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. And I love how these animals over here, I want to say dogs, puppies, they're all cheerleaders over here. And why I like this energy is because it tells me that there will be so many people rooting for you. In fact, even as we're speaking, there are people who are rooting for you. This is very similar to the story that I had uploaded yesterday on my Instagram. That, throughout our lives, we have so many silent supporters. It's amazing. Anyway, now definitely with your first card being the Eight of Cups, this brings me back to one of the first messages that I channeled for you, that in order to get to this best life, you will have to leave something behind that perhaps you're currently working on. A few of you, that corporate and music example. If you're already working towards your passion, that's great. You're all set. You just need to keep working towards it. But most of you will be leaving something behind, a past behind, in order to get to this amazing future. In fact, Eight of Cups over here as a part of your best life is telling me that right now, group one, you're very scared of missing out. You're very scared of losing out on things, on experiences. You might have FOMO and things like that. Also, you might be the kind of person who has a tendency currently to hold on too tightly to things or people, even though they're not serving you or your purpose anymore. Right? They're not in your highest good anymore, and yet somehow you're just afraid of letting go. That fear will not exist once your best life starts. You will not be afraid of letting things or letting people go. Why? Because by that time you will be so confident and so sure about what or who aligns with you best. Now this is interesting. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and then right after that we have the Knight of Swords, which tells me that your best life is going to come in very quickly. So it's almost as if, your business or your work or your money is moving at a snail's pace. There's some growth, but it's so slow, it almost feels as if you haven't really moved. And then suddenly there is that upward surge in your career, in your lifestyle, in your money. It's so quick. I don't think I'm able to articulate it very well, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say with this contrast and the speeds over here. It's like you're moving towards your goal, and it's slow, but it's steady. But because it's slow, it feels like it isn't much, and then suddenly that jump comes, and it will feel very sudden for sure, like a massive breakthrough that just happened out of nowhere. And post this, once you're, like so far you're on the ground, but then once you start flying, there will be no looking back. There will be no coming down after that. You will be on cloud nine, and you will continue to remain on cloud nine, which is good. Also, with Eight of Cups and Three of Pentacles, just before your best life is about to start Group 1, you will leave behind any toxic connections or relationships that you are currently holding on to. Why? Because when you enter into your best life, the only people whom you will be taking with you are the ones who genuinely love you, care for you, and want what's best for you. These are the kind of people who will genuinely be happy in your happiness and will want to see you soar even further. They're not the kind of people who will feel bad about you succeeding. And that's why I said, with the energy of 3 over here, this is most likely your closest friends, your family members, your siblings, your cousins, the tight pack. So these people will cheer you on throughout your best life, and especially when it starts, because they'll be so proud of you. And the reason why they'll be so proud of you is because they've seen you being so consistent with your work. They've seen you wanting to give up, but then not giving up and just soldiering on. And so when the breakthrough happens, their heart will be full of pride and love and admiration for you. And the Three of Pentacles over here is also telling me that with thriving and regeneration especially, that not only will you be going upwards and escalating in your life, you will do a lot for the welfare of those you currently love and care about also. So overall, your best life looks really good, and you're such a kind and nice person, Group 1. I love how you care about everyone so much. Alright, so these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If this reading resonated with you, you can connect with me for a personal reading. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi Group 2, if you guys chose the second image, first I want to see what will your energy be like once you've started living your best life. So let's find out. So we have Whale over here, live as a fully conscious being. I love this because this tells me, and not to say that you're not authentic right now, but this is definitely one of those energies where you're like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. For a lot of you, Spirit is telling me that right now, you guys feel a tad bit underconfident. It's like you're not sure you can get to wherever it is that you want to be. I'm also being told that right now, Group 1, there are a lot of people who try to dim your light or who try to convince you that your dreams are impossible. But because you'll actually achieve all of that, and once you do start living your best life, you'll be, look at me now. You will attract a lot of attention for sure. I'm also being told that the very people who doubted you will want to get closer to you once you start living your best life, which is, that's something that happens so often, but that's something that you'll be experiencing too. Group 2, your energy is very enigmatic. Like, you will be someone who will be hard to miss, hard to ignore, and someone like everybody will want to be in your good books, because that's how well connected or powerful you'll be. You'll be having lots of good contacts. A lot of resourceful people will be very good friends with you, very closely connected to you. Now, do keep in mind, and because it does say over here fully conscious, so it is something that you will know yourself also, but because I'm seeing it over here, I need to give you a little warning from now itself, that once you start living your best life, you will attract a lot of selfish people. People who try to suddenly be very good to you, they'll suddenly be very, very nice to you, not because they care about you, but because they want you to help them out. They want to make use of your network, of your resources. They want you to put in a good word for them. And I love the attitude that I'm picking up from this pile. You'll know that, you'll see right through that, and without any guilt, without any apologies, and rightly so, you will not be helping out those selfish people. And there's nothing wrong with it. They doubted you, they tried to tear you down, they did not believe in you, they were not nice to you at all. I mean, they currently are not nice to you at all. So they have no right to suddenly try and be the best of chums with you once you start living your best life. It just does not make any sense. There will be so much of newfound confidence and courage in you, group 2, that you will love it. If you're the kind of person, group 2, and this is a very specific message that I just received, there are a few of you today in this group who don't like looking at themselves in the mirror. Not because you're not satisfied with the way that you look, but because you're not able to look into your own eyes, because you're not quite where you had promised yourself a few years ago that you will be. So you feel like you have let yourself down. You feel like you are letting yourself down, which is why you're not able to have an eye contact with yourself. It's sad, right? But then once you start living your best life, and especially considering the fact that you've got there all by yourself, and you're radiant and you're glowing, you will be the kind of person who stops, looks at themselves in the mirror and smiles. Kind of like you're giving yourself a high five, kind of like you're giving yourself this big energetic hug that we made it, you and I. Something about you seems to be very different from the rest. And what I mean by that is, even if, let's say let's say that you become a millionaire in your best life, all right? Now, you might not be the only millionaire in your community, you might not be the only millionaire in your family, yet you will be the only millionaire that's talked about the most. So something about you will set you apart from the rest. You will be new money, and you will be proud about it. You'll flaunt it, you'll be happy with it. And like I said, you have every reason to celebrate. And this is giving me that live life king size vibe over here. So definitely that'll be your energy. All right, now let's see, what will your best life look like? So we have 7 heavenly virtues over here, keys to goodness. I'm getting 2 messages from this group 1. The first over here is that fame, prosperity, and abundance is in your destiny. Nobody can take it away from you. It is something, this best life of yours that we were discussing, you cannot not have it. All right, it is a fated event that's meant to happen in your life, so it will happen. These blessings will not just pass you by. They are on their way to you. You will catch these blessings. This is going to happen. And another thing that I can see over here, group 2, is that you guys have amassed a lot of good karma for yourselves through the good things that you do for others, through the blessings that you keep on getting, through the acts that you do for others in good faith without expecting anything in return. You don't even know, but all of that is adding up. It's like you're getting brownie points from the universe. And when this best life kicks in and those brownie points manifest themselves in terms of you getting more than what you had expected or more than what you had hoped for, it'll all make sense to you. I can also see over here with 7 heavenly virtues that once you start living your best life, you will definitely do a lot of philanthropy. So you might be a philanthropist, you're someone who will be doing a lot of charity work, a lot of good deeds for other people. Definitely some chunk of the money that you will be making will go for the betterment of other people. And when I say betterment of other people, I don't just mean your family or your relatives or your friends. Strangers, people whom you don't even know, people whom you might never even cross paths with, but you will do good things for them, whether it is donations, whether it is getting some institute opened up for them. And like I said, the more good that you put out there, the more blessings you'll be getting, and the more blessings you get, the better your best life becomes. Another message that I'm seeing for you, group 2, is that this best life of yours will be backed by your ancestors. And these are ancestors whom you've never met. All right. So these are not your immediate grandparents or even great grandparents if you've met them. These are ancestors whose photographs also you've never seen, because they might not be documented. They might be people whom a few of you have heard about through, age-old tales that are being passed on in your family, but you've definitely never seen them, you've never met them. Those ancestors of yours, very, very powerful, will also be blessing you abundantly so that this best life of yours goes smoothly. Also, with all of these stars over here, this reminds me of the message that I had channeled for you initially, that even if you're not the only millionaire in your community, something about you will still be so special that you'll be standing out. For instance, let's say that there's a movie, all right, and it's a multi-starrer movie, and there are 5 to 6 actors in it, all in the big league, and yet somehow that entire movie, each time it's being discussed about, only one actor's name will pop up. Or it'll be because of that one actor that everyone is able to recall the movie and not the other 4. So something like that is what I'm picking up for you. All right, let's see what else do we get. We have devotion, which says, trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. I love this for you, group 2. First of all, it's very clear over here that you guys, most of you at least, like 99% of you, know what it is that you want. Your goals are very clear to you. You know what you want to center your best life around, and you have been working towards it. And this message is kind of like a confirmation for you from spirit, that we can see how dedicated and how committed you are towards this goal of yours. We love it, and we're going to be blessing you with exactly what it is that you want, and like I said, a bit more thanks to your brownie points because of this. When it says over here, you are loved unconditionally, I'm automatically reminded of these ancient ancestors of yours that are blessing you. So I think that's that. Another thing, and this is more like a guidance for you, group 2, that every step that you take in terms of your goals towards your future, whatever it is that you've imagined for yourself, listen to your intuition. Always. You might be the kind of people who get downloads in their dreams. You might be the kind of people who see lots of signs and synchronicities. You might be the kind of people who, right before you're about to make a decision, you get a niggling feeling regarding doing or not doing something. All of these subtle and sometimes not so subtle hints that you get from your spirit team, from the universe, do follow all of that. And the image that spirit just showed me was of a person walking on a street and they're about to take a wrong turn. So someone comes in and puts like a stop sign over there that no, you cannot go this way, the route is closed, keep walking straight please. And so that happens. So all these little pushes that you keep getting from here and there, the no, don't do this, all of that guidance that you keep getting is so that you can stick to the best path for you that will ultimately lead you to your dream life. So in case up until now you've met with any what might seem like disappointments, oh, I wanted this, that didn't work out, I wanted admission in this particular college, that didn't happen. It did not happen because it wasn't meant to happen. It did not happen because if you would have gotten admission into that particular college, you would have not been in alignment with your best life, which you currently are. So that's great news, by the way. Now, once you have stepped into your best life, as I can see over here with devotion, your connection with the universe will only get even more heightened, even more personal than what it currently is. I can also see that you will be having lots of admirers, lots of people who are wishing you well, lots of people who they don't even know you personally and yet they love you so, so much. And who might these people be? I have a feeling that they'll be the very people for whom you are doing all these good deeds for, all this charity work for, all this philanthropy for. So you might not get a chance to meet each and every life that you are bettering because of your contributions, but of course they'll be knowing who you are, right? And their wishes and their love will always, always be with you. All right, let's see what else. So we have loyal heart over here. Before I move to the loyal heart, I got a message that for a lot of you, your best life might be centered around your spiritual practice that you currently have, if at all you do, or it might be something that you're planning to do later on. And so that's how you get a step closer to your best life. So for sure, that's going to be the case for a few of you. Now, with loyal heart over here, I'm getting two messages. The first is that your best life seems to be centered around something that you absolutely love doing. Even if it's your corporate job, even if it is something that you're currently doing 9 to 5, it is still something that you really love. For instance, let's say that if you are a mechanical engineer, for example, all right, you love to build things, you love robotics and things like that, and you might go on to do something that's really, really great in that particular field, and before you know it, you've stepped into your best life because you've become a pioneer of research perhaps in that field, and people are taking inspiration from you. You're getting tons of money, you're getting tons of contracts to do particular, I don't know, design work or something for others, whatever that might be. So basically, something that you love doing, something that's very, very close to your heart. And I'm also being told something that you've been very loyal towards ever since you were a kid, perhaps. So this might also be something, some art, some skill, or some subject that you've loved ever since you were a child. And that's what your best life will be centered around. Which is why, once you do start living your best life, it will not be hectic. That's a very strong message that Spirit is giving me for you, Group 2, that your best life will not be hectic. It'll be very easy breezy, very stress-free. Why? Because you're basically doing the thing that you love and you're making very, very good money out of it. Another thing that I can see over here with loyal heart is that your union with your divine counterpart might align with you entering your best life, or it might happen that after you've entered into a union with your divine counterpart, once you guys are married or once you guys are engaged, or even once you've met each other and you know for sure that that's your divine counterpart, that day will mark the beginning of your best life, which will eventually start unfolding from there on. In fact, loyal heart is telling me, and this is such a lovely message, Group 2, that once you start living your best life, the only people that will be around you are people who will be very loyal to you. Like, let's say that if at all right now, or if at all in the past, you have met with people who said something but then did something else, or deceived you, stabbed you in the back, used you and then left, none of those people will be able to breach your barriers once you're living your best life, which by the way, we've already seen with the whale's energy over here. You will not be entertaining such people anymore. Only the loyalists, only the people whom you know genuinely care about you, or genuinely happy for you, people who've been with you ever since you started out. So essentially, people who've seen you go through what you went through to reach where you will reach eventually, that brigade of yours, that lovely little troop of yours, those are the people, those are the only people in fact whom you will be interacting with most. Any selfish energy will not be able to enter into your field, penetrate into that field of yours. You will simply not put up with that. All right, let's see what else do we get. And we have flexibility over here. This is lovely because this is telling me, group 2, that once you've started living your best life, the ease of it, or the convenience, the money, it'll all be so great that you will get enough time for yourself. You will get enough time to explore what else is out there. And when I say explore what else is out there, I don't mean from a career perspective, from an experience perspective. What else can I explore? Oh, I always wanted to travel to a particular country. In the past, I never had the time or resources, but now I have enough resources and I've got enough time on my hands too. So if at all right now, group 2, you barely get time for yourself, even your weekends are busy, or let's say you're working 2 jobs at the moment, because you want to save up money for this dream of yours, by the time your best life kicks in, there will be so much prosperity all around you. And in fact, you might be one of those people who has other people working for them, or there are all these loyal people around you whom you can trust with taking care of you, even if you're out of office for a few days. You will get the liberty to explore, to travel, to have all these varied and good and rich experiences. Something, like I said, that doesn't happen right now. So that again is something that you'll really, really like. In fact, flexibility somewhere, especially with whale, is also telling me that you'll be the kind of person who, and this energy, it reminds me of 𝚑𝚊𝚗𝚎 from A Modern Family. He'd created such a good business that there came a point wherein he'd barely just go to his office for a few hours and then come back home, or go to his club or wherever, because there were so many other people taking care of it and it was going all great for him. Of course, in that case, he was old, but that age factor will not be the case with you. Even if you're in your 30s or even if you're in your 40s, you will have ample time to live life to its fullest. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards now, group 2. Just put these here. We have the 7 of Wands, King of Wands, the Hierophant, and the 6 of Wands. Lovely energy over here. Lots of fire energy over here also. So a lot of you might be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or these signs might be present somewhere in your big 3. As soon as I saw the 7 of Wands, I was reminded of the energy that I was channeling for you guys earlier, that under no circumstances will you tolerate selfish people or lower vibrational people to ruin your peace. And I see that happening right now. Maybe currently you find it difficult to ward off these people because some of them might be living with you, some of them you might be working with. So of course, at the moment it might feel like I can't run away from these people. I have to face them every day, so I might as well make my peace with it. But then once you start living your best life, you will be at that position. You will have that privilege, group 2, to decide whom to talk to and whom not to talk to. Haters might call you picky or choosy or snooty for that, but I know and you know what will be the thought behind it. And the thought behind it is that these people couldn't care less about me back then. So give me one good reason why I should allow them to come and, fuck up my life again. I will not repeat my mistakes. I will not let that happen. Because what I've created for myself and the people that are currently a part of it, all of that is so dear to me that I will not let any lower vibrational person or any person with ill intentions come and ruin that. So your defenses will be up, and definitely with the Seven of Wands, nobody will be able to cause you any harm. In fact, Seven of Wands over here is also telling me that because of the blessings of your ancestors, there might be this lovely energetic field that's created around you, which these people will find very difficult to permeate. In fact, they won't be able to. I remember saying with the whale that, what was that phrase I said? Live life king size. And now we have the King of Wands for you over here. So definitely, group 2, once you start living your best life, there is nothing that you'll be deprived of. There is nothing that will be out of bounds or out of reach for you. You can spoil yourself silly, guilt-free in your best life. Because you deserve it, you've earned it. You've worked so hard towards it. King of Wands over here with the Hierophant is definitely indicating a very solid business for a lot of you that you start. And even if it's not a business, even if it's a job, the King of Wands with the Hierophant over here is indicating that in your best life you would have reached kind of like the zenith in terms of the leadership positions when it comes to your job. So let's say that you've become the regional head or the country head, or you've been made the CEO or something like that, or you've got a bunch of shares or stakes or whatever that is. And so life is easy. That's something Spirit wants me to tell you. Your life will become easy. You'll get a breather. With the Hierophant over here, definitely for a few of you, this business or this practice might be something spiritual. People are coming and learning the skill from you. You're teaching people your art, or you have a business wherein you're guiding people. It might not necessarily be spiritual guidance. All of you don't have to be tarot readers or astrologers. You might be a psychologist. You might be someone who helps people with their body image issues, personality development, things like that also count. So perhaps this is a work that's centered around that. But in your best life, with the King of Wands over here and the Hierophant, you're definitely not just at the top of your game, but you're at the top. Oh, that explains it. So since I started your reading, I'd been getting this message that even if you are amongst millionaires, you'll still be standing out as as different. And that makes sense over here because we have the Hierophant after the King of Wands. So even if you're surrounded by other kings, you have this added advantage over here with the Hierophant, because something about your knowledge or your way of executing that knowledge is what will be most likely be setting you apart from the crowd. So I'll go back to my example of the multi-starrer movie. Even if there are 5 actors in the film, the reason why the film will be known by your name, or the reason why you'll become the face of the film, is because the way that you delivered your dialogues and the way you did your acting and the way you brought the character alive on screen was so refreshingly different from the other actors. So you see, that's how you set yourself apart, even amongst people who are all dressed like you. And definitely with the Six of Wands being your closing card, your best life will be marked with multiple milestones, all of victory. So it's like every day you're making a new record. Every day you're beating yourself at your previous record. Every day is better than the previous day. Every day you're getting some or the other positive news about your work or your business. Let's say that you invested money somewhere and then you woke up to the news that the stock market really worked in your favor, and so all of those funds have multiplied overnight or something like that. And I also love how Perhaps everything that right now you feel is very out of your reach will be very easily accessible to you, very, very easily accessible to you. So easily, in fact, that there is a risk of it losing its charm even for you. And with the Hierophant and the seven heavenly virtues, definitely group 2, there will be a lot of blessings and a lot of good wishes that you will be garnering. So this is lovely. Alright, so these are all the messages that I have for you right now, group 2. If this reading resonated with you, you can connect with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi group 3, if you guys chose the third image, I'd like to start by asking Spirit, what will your energy be like when you're living your best life? So we have Grey Squirrel over here, which says find new ways of solving problems. You feel like a master of some kind, honestly, group 3, when you're living your best life. So maybe right now also you're someone who is either in the teaching profession, or you're someone who teaches something to others, even if it's not in a typical school or a university setting. And it seems like as you impart more and more knowledge to others, you reach the status of like a guru of sorts. You know, you have a following. People come to you with their problems and you give them solutions. When you're living your best life, group 3, it does seem like, okay, so the first message, okay, I've already given a bunch of messages, but the first thing that's standing out over here is that you will stop feeling afraid of anything and anyone when you're in this best life, because it's quite possible that right now you get phased very easily, you get nervous very easily, you get tensed thinking about certain things very easily. The minute you get a challenge or the minute a lesson starts unfolding, you're like, how will I navigate my way out of this? I don't know. So the first response is always panic right now, which will be in sharp contrast to the first response that comes when you're living your best life. Because when that happens, the first response will always be the answer right away to the problem at hand. And honestly, I don't feel like these are your problems. This talks more about people coming to you with their problems, which is why I said that your best life might be centered around a profession or a work wherein you're helping people in some capacity. This can be anything. Maybe you're a guidance counselor, you know, you're a psychologist, or you're a consultant of some sort, you're an architect perhaps, can be anything. Basically a profession where people are coming to you and you are very seamlessly, very easily showing them the right path. I can also see that when you're living your best life, your intuition will be at its highest. In fact, it's almost as if in those, when the days start, you will be very, very, very connected to source, very much connected to spirit. One look at someone's face and you will know what's up. One glance at the question and you will know what the answer to it is. It's like something divine gets unlocked within you when you start living your best life, group 3. So very strong spiritual energies for you over here. A lot of you, and this is a very specific message, group 3, a lot of you have been picked on for the way that you look. And this is a specific message. When you were growing up, perhaps in your school, or then in your college, or you know, amongst your friend circle also, people have picked on you for some peculiar features of yours, let's say. Or let's say that you're not very tall, so they make fun of you for that. Or your looks are slightly unconventional, so they make fun of you for that. But, and I'm going to stick to the height example for now, you're going to reach such great lengths in your life, group 3, when you're living your best life, that how tall or how short you are, it's not going to matter at all. Because the very people who make fun of you right now for looking a certain way will be the ones who won't be able to get enough of you once you start living your best life. And I'm not talking about kids as such. All right, kids in general, most of the times they have no idea what they're saying. People who are intentionally mean to you, people who intentionally pick on you, even though they can clearly see on your face that it's hurting you, that you're not liking it, yet they don't stop, yet they don't know when to stop. Those are the very people who will come to you. In fact, they might come to you with their problems. They might ask you for your forgiveness. They might ask you to help them out. That, of course, will be your choice of, whether you choose to help them out or not, although you don't seem to be the kind of person who will not help someone who's in a problem. But I'm just saying that the very people who mock you right now will be singing your praises the loudest in your best life. All right, let's see now, what will your best life look like? So we have owl, which says follow your intuition. Interesting, because I said that when you're living your best life, your intuition will be at its highest. You can take this as a guidance also, group 3, that even as we're speaking, if there is a particular path or a profession or anything, some field perhaps for that matter, that your intuition has been guiding you towards, give this a chance, go for it. Do listen to your intuition, because that might just be the key that unlocks the door through which you step into your best life. I can also see over here that perhaps right now, group 3, you're very worried of what others think of you, of what opinions they have about you, and it's abundantly clear that, no matter how strong of a front you try to put, these mean things do get to you, and that's very natural. We're human, so these things do affect you. And it's quite possible that you avoid attending social gatherings, or you avoid going out, so that you don't have to listen to any of that nonsense, so you don't have to interact with any of those people. But when you start living your best life, you will be able to drop the mask, you will be able to step out, there will be that confidence in you. Why? Because then, see, there's this bit of a following over here. You're not the one that's running away anymore. People are running towards you now. In fact, when you start living your best life, that is also the time when you realize that the problem was never in you. You were never the problem. It was the people, it was their flawed perception, and they were being, they were a bunch of sadists. It had nothing to do with you. For a lot of you, and definitely with intuition and then, solving problems and stuff, your best life might revolve around a work in which you are using your intuition to guide others, to help others. So for a lot of you, it can be a spiritual practice of some sort, but not necessarily. It can also be, let's say that someone has come to you for some counseling, and the case is very different. It's nothing that you've read about in any of your books and something, so you're just using your intuition to help that person navigate through their problems. So it might be something like that. All right, let's see what else. Your best life might involve a lot of touring and traveling and going to different places, waking up in different cities every other 2 weeks. It's so interesting. I said you might be traveling a lot in your best life, and an airplane just flew right past. So take that as a confirmation that lots of traveling is in store for you, especially for those of you, for all of you of course, but especially for those of you who right now are not able to afford plane tickets, or you think that you'll never get a chance to leave the place where you were born and where you're currently living. So that's not going to happen. Then we have experiencing grace, which says, share your gifts with grace, waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So this is a third confirmation over here for group 3, that a gift that you possess, whether it is the gift of intuition or something else for that matter, that'll be the core of your best life. I can also see the reason why people will be coming to you. Let's say that there are a bunch of different people in the same profession as you. There are a bunch of different consultants or a bunch of different psychologists, maybe even if they're all sitting in the same building. The reason why you will be attracting the most crowd, the reason why you'll be the one getting the most clients, is because of the grace that you have, it's because of how you make people feel when you're interacting with them. They feel safe to open up to you, they feel safe to talk to you. You can see right through them. That's another thing. You're the kind of person who, they won't even tell you their problem. They'll just come and sit right in front of you and you'll start talking. Is this the problem? I can see this happen and that happened. And you're like a mystical person for them, even if you're not at all related to spirituality. Yet the way that you're able to read a person's energy, the way that you're able to analyze a person's problem, it's going to blow away people's minds, and they won't be able to get enough of it, which is why they'll keep coming back to you. Another thing that I can see over here is that when you interact with these people, there's so much, when you will be interacting with them, there'll be so much grace and kindness and love in your tone, in your speech. Overall energy is so warm. That is also something that will draw people, kind of like a moth being drawn towards the flame. So you're the flame then, which is again very reminiscent of this orange energy behind the squirrel looks like a flame of light, a flame of fire. So yeah, that's another thing. There will for sure be a lifestyle upgrade also, especially in terms of the more refined things. In fact, Spirit is telling me, group 3, that even now your taste is very refined. You like things that are very exquisite or very vintagey perhaps, but at the moment you're not able to afford all of that. So at the moment you either do DIY, or you just you have a mood board on Pinterest that, oh, these are the kind of clothes, these are the kinds of clothes that someday I'll be wearing, but then you're not wearing them currently. But once you start living your best life, all these Pinterest mood boards that you have will come to life. The kind of clothes, the kind of furniture, the kind of furnishings, anything and everything that you're currently dreaming about will be accessible to you. In fact, and this is a very specific message, group 3, a lot of you feel like you belong to the wrong generation. You feel like you should have been born earlier. You feel like you should have been born, like years or centuries ago than your actual year of birth. There's a reason why you feel that way. You are an old soul, all right? Your soul remembers what it was like back then, and your soul likes that better as compared to whatever it is that's going on currently around us. So there is that longing to go back to that era, you can say. So once you start living your best life, I do feel like this old soul vibe of yours might also be something that really sets you apart from the others, and that will also get you a lot of people. You know how they say that when the student is ready, the master appears? That's what I'm picking up for this pile. Without you having to look for clients, I would say, for the lack of a better word, they'll come to you. And there won't be even an iota of pride in your energy. You won't boast any of this. You won't flaunt any of your luxuries. You'll be so humble, you'll be so grounded, that's another thing that will draw people to you. That even if you have double or triple the amount in your bank account than them, You still sit right next to them. You eat your food with them. You're so kind to them. All right, let's see what else do we get for you. So we have breathe over here. If currently you are burdened with a lot of fears, responsibilities in general, and you feel like you'll never be able to get out of this cycle, you feel like you're trapped, all of that is going to go away when your best life kicks in, because this is such a relaxed energy over here. The waters are calm, these lovely white lotuses all around, stars glistening all around, and this woman is sitting in a comfortable position. She's doing yoga. There's a smile on her face. That'll be you when you're living your best life. There will be nothing that you will need to worry about. There will be enough money to take care of everything. There will be enough resources to take care of everything. Whatever cycles you're currently trapped in, especially I'm being told if debt is something that currently stresses you out a lot, you'll be out of that. So whatever stressors you have in your life right now, you will not take any of those with you to your best life. There will be a lot of relaxation, a lot of calmness around you in your best life. It's almost as if you will decide the pace of the day for yourself. Today I'll do this much work, tomorrow I'll just do this much, on the third day I won't do anything, and even that won't bother you. So another message that I'm getting for you, group 3, is that you might be the kind of people who start freaking out when you don't work. You start freaking out when you have to miss out on work, even if you're sick, even if you've taken a sick leave and you're resting in your bed. You're like, oh, but I did not do this work, and then tomorrow when I go I'll have to do double the work and whatnot. So all of that stress will get eliminated in your best life, because you will be the master. You will get to decide how much work you have to do and when. In fact, I also feel like you will not be answerable to anyone. The kind of people who you're working with, whom you're providing your services to, and the kind of people that you're living with, all of those, everybody's energy will be so nice and mellow. No panic in your energy field around you at all. And lots of admirers for sure. You'll be very famous in your community, group 3. Even the new entrants in that field will be knowing you. They'll be taking inspiration from you. They'll want to be like you. And you might teach them. In fact, the way that the squirrel is standing with her hands, and then there's very similar energy over here. And that's why I said with breathe, it's quite possible that once you've started living your best life, and because at the time you're connected at max to your intuition, you know that there's no reason for you to worry. Because the minute a ball is thrown your way, you will know exactly how to hit it out of the pavilion. You will be knowing all the tips, all the tricks. In fact, your lifestyle seems to be very minimalistic. I did say that you feel like you belong to the wrong generation, and there's this very vintagey vibe to you. But with breathe, I also feel like for the rest of you who did not resonate with that message, you might be the minimalists. You might be the kind of people who are very happy with the bare minimum, minimalistic furniture and things like that. So you don't unnecessarily add a lot of chaos to your life. You don't unnecessarily add a lot of clutter to your life, and that's how it'll be, and that's how you like it. All right, let's see what else do we get. We have fulfillment. This is lovely. All your wishes, big and small, that you have right now, group 3, they will all be coming true in your best life. And I love how fulfillment is right after breathe, because this tells me that perhaps one of the reasons why you'll be in such a calm and relaxed energy is because you have You would have achieved everything that you had set out to achieve. You would have bought everything that you always wanted to buy. You would have perhaps ticked off a lot of things from your bucket list and made a new bucket list, quite likely. And it's fantastic because I'm being told that currently, are you getting goosebumps? Are you shivering? Okay, so I'm being told, group 3, that there are a lot of you who at the moment have a lot of fears that my wishes will never get true. It's a distant dream, or there's no point in me seeing that dream because something like that is never going to happen with me. You might be seeing someone else right now, group 3, living exactly this kind of life, and you're admiring them from a distance, but you think that can never be me, that'll never be me. So first of all, stop feeding this negative narrative to yourself, all right? Because with fulfillment being over here, definitely your dreams are getting true, they're getting fulfilled. And not only the kind of life that you're seeing someone else living right now, but most likely something even better than that is what you're aligned with. It's like it's written in your stars, group 3. So that's all the more reason to not freak out about your future, because you're destined for all of this. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. So I'll just put these over here. So we have the 10 of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the King of Swords. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. I love how the King of Swords popped out after the 10 of Wands, because this tells me that everything that you are breaking a sweat over right now, all the burdens that you think you have right now, they'll all be cut and gone from your life when you enter into the best life. And this is such a stark contrast of energies over here, with the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. In fact, it's also possible that when you start living your best life, you will be having 10 times more work or more clientele or more demand than you currently do. Despite that, there will be no stress, because you'll be like, oh, this is, it's basically like child's play for me now. I know how to do it. I'm good at it. There will be that confidence in you, and yet no ego. You're at the top of your game. You've mastered it. You're so skilled at it now. You have so many years of expertise in that now. Like one kick and one pow, and you've got it under control. And yet that grace in your energy, that kindness with which you're dealing with others, that control that you have, it's fascinating. It's almost as if you are the richest person on the planet, and at the same time you're also the most grounded person ever. That's the contrast over here. With the King of Swords and 10 of Wands, in your best life, you will be doing whatever it is that you can do to ease other people of their stress, of their burden, of their problems. Not only when they come to you for help, but otherwise also. With the 8 of Pentacles over here and the King of Swords, generosity, it's something that's inherently built in you. Ever since you were a kid, you've had a lot of compassion for other people. And so naturally, when you're living your best life, when all your wishes have been taken care of and you have extra, you will be giving it back to the society. You will be doing a lot of good for others. And 10 of Cups, by the way, takes me back to the fulfillment energy over here, that all these tiny cups over here are full of some or the other wish of yours. Your best life is not just about your career and your lifestyle, but in this case for you, group 3, it is also about having a happy home life, being blessed with a lovely divine counterpart, having kids if that's something that you want. Because it's quite possible that right now love is also a very problematic department for you. You haven't had much luck in it. You think you'll never be lucky in love. You think you'll never get love. But a, a great spouse, great kids, a happy home life is an essential part of your best life that I can see over here. With King of Swords, definitely you'll be at a leadership position. So you'll either be the leader in your own company or whatever it is, or you'll be at a very high level and working in like a corporate field or whatever. Communication is the key over here for this group. So whatever work it is that you'll be doing, your interaction with people, you speaking to them, your words, your voice, your language, it's going to play a key role. There will be a lot of people whose lives you will transform through the power of your word. So you guys might even want to become writers or speakers for that matter. And I love this Eight of Pentacles over here, the illustration in particular, because it's giving me this bring it on vibe. I have it under control, which is very similar to the energy of breathe over here, and also of the gray squirrel. That I see, the minute I see a problem, I already know what my course of action should be, and I know I'll get to the solution in no time. Eight of Pentacles, in fact, is also telling me that there will be more work, more money for sure. You might invest your money in other people's companies and other people's business also when you're living your best life. So overall, it looks very fantastic. These are all the messages that I have for you right now, Group 3. If this reading resonated with you, you can connect with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.